Today we are in Ghana. Ghana has made, should I say, one of the bold decision? Okay, let's say a bold decision. Ghana appointed a South Korean man as its diplomat or ambassador to South Korea. It sounds crazy, right? But it's true. Ghana under John Dramani Mahama has appointed Kojo Choi to South Korea as its ambassador. And Kojo Choi is a South Korean by blood and even by his look. So what do you think about that? Sit relax, let's break it down. Oh guys, welcome back to Pillars of History. This is your trusted channel and your trusted news sources for all African politics. Thank you for being part of us. So let's dive deep into this crazy or controversial story of John Dramani's new appointee to South Korea. So who is Kojo Choi? Kojo Choi was born in South Korea and moved to Ghana at the age of 14 with his missionary father. He studied at the University of Ghana and is a founder of PaySwitch, a leading fintech company. He is also a founder of Nantel and Art Africa Gallery. He is also a consultant for Korean embassy and multinational corporations in Ghana. So that is, in brief, Kojo Choi. He shifted from Korea to Ghana at the age of 14. He came with his father during their missionary work. So after reaching in Ghana, he changed his nationality to Ghanaian. Now he is a true Ghanaian and adopted a name called Kojo. Kojo. This is a traditional Ghanaian name to show that he was a committed Ghanaian, to identify himself among his fellow men. But Kojo Choi before he was called Siwol. So how did he come to the ranks to reach at the point of being appointed? You know, in Africa, one thing must be clear. When you have money, you hold power. This guy is a businessman, and you see he holds a lot of things. He's the founder of PaySwitch, and this company is dealing with visas and everything. So he's also a founder of Nantel. He has shares in MTN. You know, MTN in Africa, it is also in Uganda and other parts of the continent. So he holds power because he has money. So he came to prominence. He was serving before as a consultant for the Korean embassy in Ghana through its multinational companies that were operating in Ghana. So then he was appointed by John Dramani Mahama as a designated South Korean ambassador. He's the first person of the Korean descent to hold such a role in Ghana's Fourth Republic. There is no any other South Korean person who has ever held power in Ghana. So this is the first guy to hold that power. He's now an ambassador of Ghana in his country. You see? So it's somehow like crazy. So he is the new ambassador of Ghana in South Korea, this Korean man. So what does it mean? Let's be clear. It is somehow weird. Because you cannot say that you reach at an extent of appointing a South Korean to represent the blacks of Ghana to his country, as if there is no any other person who can take on that position. There are some trained people who can do that very well. But you never know what Mahama was dreaming of and what he wants to achieve through this man. Let's give him a chance and wait what will happen or what will follow. But to my side, it is not good, because Africans need to get positions in their countries first. Because if he is an African guy in South Korea, it will never be like that, a South Korean government has appointed a Ugandan or a Ghanaian guy to his country. It will never happen. In brief, Kojo Choi is now the recognized ambassador of Ghana in South Korea. And don't forget that he's a Korean. He's a South Korean. He has one wife and 3 children. His wife is also a Korean. They are of the same nationality. So, other than being in Ghana and identifying himself as a Ghanaian, he has no anything to show that he's real an African man. So, we have to take these things very crucial and assess them well, because Choi is now a true Pan-Africanist, as he says, because Ghana is the source of Pan-Africanism. So let's see. You never know. Mahama did it for a reason. But to my side, because we are here to speak on the issues, to my side, it doesn't make sense. You cannot appoint someone to his own country. What do you expect from that? Of course, if anything happens, I will always side with my country, because this is my country, this is my motherland. However much I have businesses in your country, that doesn't mean that I really belong to that country. Never will it be. Only in Africa, maybe in Africa, because the land is one. I can be a Ghanaian, I can be a Kenyan, I can be a Ugandan, I can be a Rwandan, I can be anything, because I'm on an African soil, and the race is the same. But you never tell me that you're a white guy and you're saying that you're a true African. And yet the things that you're doing are totally different from what we say that this is an African. At least, he's trying to be an African to identify himself among Africans. You're also marrying your fellow Korean. And I don't criticize him for that. No. For every person needs to make a choice on his own. But of course, as a diplomat or someone who wants to learn in the country's politics, you have to do something that shows that you really belong to that country. At least if he has like a wife who is a Ghanaian, that could be just a debate which really doesn't raise too much concern. So the people are concerned about his origin and even his family. They are all Koreans. So for the Ghanaians, I'm not sorry to tell you that John Dramani Mahama, I don't know his intentions, but on my side, it doesn't make sense. So, leaving Choi's story, the Confederal Bank for Investment and Development of Mali, Burkina Faso and Niger is also being launched with 900 million US dollars as its initial capital. The Sahel have launched the Confederal Bank for Investment and Development. It is called the BCID of AES to boost their development in the infrastructure, security, and other sectors. So these people, you see that they are not sitting. The Sahel brothers are not sitting. They are doing whatever it can cost them in order not to go back to the World Bank or IMF to ask for loans. They are trying to explore alternative ways to make their countries self-reliant. Do you know how much the Nigerian debt is? It is almost 300 billion US dollars. Billion US dollars. That is a huge amount of money. But these countries are trying to repay their debts. They are clearing their debts. They are trying to put everything to an end, like debt and all these other things that have been making them to stay under that debt trap. So I'm very surprised with the regional bloc, the AES bloc. It is a very strong bloc which is doing marvelous things. They are saying that they will empower infrastructure, local economies, and reduce dependence on external donors. This is coming shortly after their withdrawal from ECOWAS, which marks a bold move towards self-reliance and regional integration. Wow, very nice. They are moving away from the ECOWAS bloc. They withdrew from the bloc, and the bloc actually was determined to invade Niger, to install back the Western-backed man or democratic guy who is in Niger, Muhammad Bazoum. But they failed because they used threats. They wanted to invade Niger, and the Sahel brothers stood very firm and said that invade Niger, invade us. Try anything about Niger, that means you're trying us all. We shall engage you us all. So just be ready for the AES family or the AES forces to confront with you. And these guys stood by their words, and they are meaning it. That's why you didn't see anything like ECOWAS interfering or invading them. And the ECOWAS bloc received more than $125 million. 125 million euros from Europe, from the European Union, to invade Niger. The major thing was Niger is the top producer of uranium, and uranium powers nuclear power plants. It powers nuclear power. So that's why you see that France was committed to invade Niger by all means. But they failed. You know why? The AES brothers stood firm. They said, come, we shall engage you. Just come, we are also determined. And there is no anything that can weaken something or can weaken someone whereby you find the population is united against one common cause. The country which is already disunited can easily be conquered or be invaded, and the mission becomes successful because the population also is demoralized. It has no any morale. But for the population which is backing its leaders, my friend, you will never achieve anything other than blood and death only. So that's why the AES states are very firm and they are very straight. Let's leave the ECOWAS bloc. Let's leave it. So guys, tell us what you're thinking about these two bold moves. Number one, the one of Kojo Choi, the newly appointed ambassador of Ghana to South Korea, and the Confederal Bank of the AES states. What do you think about them? Will they achieve it? Will it boost the economy? Or it will just weaken the economies? Thank you for watching. This is Ice Frank on Pillars of History. Thank you for being with us. I salute you. Stay blessed. Let's meet in the next episode.